Hey guys, I'm happy that you are here. My name is Bechoy and I am your plantito from Mindanao. Tara at samahan niyo ako sa aking plant journey. And to those who are new to this channel, especially those na hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, please click on the subscribe button and pakiclick na rin ang ating bell notification para maging updated kayo sa mga latest videos ng Bechoy Vlog. And also guys, we have other social media platforms, so that's aside from YouTube. We have our Facebook page and our page is Bechoy Vlog. And we also have an Instagram account and our ID is Bechoy_vlog. And let's talk about plants. So, if ever meron kayong mga questions about plants, plant cares, plant IDs, any other stuff related to plants, you can send me a message or a DM sa ating Facebook and IG, and I will try my very best na masagot yun yung mga katanungan. And for our episode today, guys, we'll be talking about one of the most popular and most sought after na plant, and that is our Monstera Deliciosa. And I will be sharing with you some of my care tips kung paano natin ma-achieve yung magagandang mga Monstera Deliciosa at paano natin sila mapapa-giant. At sa mga subscribers natin who constantly send me a message or DM sa ating Facebook and IG asking for my soil mix for my Monstera or kung paano ko daw alagaan yung aking mga Monstera, ito na yung video na kasagutan sa inyong mga katanungan. So yung ating Monstera Deliciosa, they originated from the South Americas, particularly sa Amazon na rainforest. So sa rainforest ng Amazon, dun lang sila guys nakakapit sa mga puno. So they thrive and they're very abundant sa rainforest. And with the name Monstera, so siguro mapipicture out na natin kung bakit sila tinawag na Monstera. Kasi when they grow to their full mature size na, nagiging monsters and enormous na sila. So one of the distinct characteristics of a Monstera guys is having yung mga splits or fenestrations. Ito siya. And kapag nagiging mature na yung ating mga Monstera Deliciosas, they also have these eyes or yung mga holes sa gitna ng kanyang mga dahon, such as this one. Ito nakikita natin dito sa gitna. And when I became fond of collecting plants last year, isa talaga itong ating Monstera Deliciosa sa mga plant goals ko. And I think you can also relate to that when the pandemic started last year. Yung ating Monstera Deliciosa, isa talaga sa mga plant goals natin. Unfortunately lang, when it became popular last year, it also came with a price. Kasi nagiging scarce na yung supply ng mga Monstera Deliciosa. So naging pricey din siya that time. But then luckily lang, during the end of last year, mga 2020 and early this year, naging affordable na ito. So at this point, makakabili na tayo ng mga Monstera Deliciosa at a very affordable price. So just like this pot here guys, itong ating Monstera Deliciosa, I can still remember that having this, mga 6 leaves ata na Monstera Deliciosa, previously priced at around 4,000 to 5,000 per pot. And just imagine right now, makakabili ka na nito ng less than 1,000 at may mga mature na ng mga leaves. At yung main reason kung bakit nagbababaan na yung price ngayon ng mga Monstera Deliciosas is because the entry of mga tissue culture ng mga Monstera Deliciosas practically coming from Thailand. So thanks to that, nag-start nang maging very affordable yung ating mga Monstera Deliciosas. And I can remember last year guys, na naging popular itong ating mga Monstera Deliciosas mainly because there are some celebrities na nafe-feature ng having Monstera Deliciosas inside their houses. So there are a lot of celebrities na may mga pictures sa Instagram or Facebook na naging trending. And because of that, naging must-have na rin ito ng other plant collectors. So if you would want to have that indoor jungle feels or parang rainforest feels inside your homes, having a Monstera Deliciosa, especially the adult ones or yung mga malalaki na, would be a good addition talaga. I have with me here my Monstera Deliciosa, this smaller plant here. And right beside it is our Monstera borsigiana. So ito yung medyo malaki na guys. So based on my research, actually they are of the same family. Even yung ating borsigiana, it's still identified as Monstera Deliciosa var borsigiana, meaning it's a variety of a Deliciosa. And for me naman, actually if you kinda look at it, especially kung naging fully mature na rin yung ating Monstera Deliciosa, they both look the same with the leaves, kanyang leaf pattern at saka yung sa kanyang mga fenestrations and with the holes. Yung main difference na nakikita ko lang, ating borsigiana is a trailing type of a Monstera. So ito as it grows, mukhang pahaba or nagiging tower siya later on. Ito naman ating Deliciosa is habang lumalaki siya, yung kanyang growth pattern naman is pa-sideways. So, one way for us to check on it is yung kanyang growth sa kanyang mga nodes. So, if we take a look at our Monstera Deliciosa, ang interval ng kanyang in-between sa kanyang mga nodes is medyo short or maikli as compared with the Borsigiana na mahaba yung kanyang distances in between nodes. So, mag-disclaimer lang tayo guys ha, hindi tayo botanist or plant expert. Itong mga na-mention ko is just based on my observation. So, I might be wrong. We might have some experts there sa ating mga viewers na makapag-correct sa atin. Regardless if they're all the same or magka-different sila na variety or species of Monstera Deliciosa. So in terms of the Caretips naman, what I can see is that basically they have the same requirements for both these two plants. As what I can see also is that nagtatribe naman sila using the same Caretips. Pag-usapan na natin in details ngayon yung kanyang mga Caretips. I know there are a lot of our viewers and other plant collectors na medyo hirap talaga sa pag-aalaga ng mga Monstera Deliciosas. Pero in my personal opinion lang ha, once you get the hang of it or parang nakuha mo yung kanyang kilite, napakadali na lang nilang alagaan guys, and then there are some times nga na pwede mo lang silang pabayaan and they can still thrive and produce very beautiful leaves. And for our Caretips, let's just divide them into 4 parts. The first one would be our lighting requirement, second would be the watering needs, third is the soil mix being used, and fourth will be the fertilizer also. Now let's talk about the lighting requirement of our Monstera plants. They actually thrive or they are best placed in a medium to bright area, so they can be placed indoors and outdoors as well. And as for me naman, yung aking mga Monstera plants, they are placed outdoors together with my other plants. So majority talaga ng mga plants ko, around 90% are placed outdoors. So sa area na yon, it's bright and shaded all throughout the day. And it's very important for us, number one, to consider on the natural habitat of our plants. So as mentioned earlier, yung natural habitat ng ating mga Monsteras is nasa mga rainforest, and that's under the shades of big trees. So yan yung dapat na i-consider natin, yung parang ma-imitate natin yung kanyang natural habitat. And it's not recommended na i-place natin sila sa areas na natatamaan sila ng direct sunlight because they have sensitive leaves guys, especially sa mga maliliit or yung mga juvenile pa ng mga Monsteras. Pero kung hindi naman talaga maiiwasan, they can tolerate morning sunlight, but that's around up to 9 AM lang na sunlight. Kasi beyond 9 AM, that would be too hot na for our plants. And eventually, kapag na-expose sila ng sunlight beyond 9 AM, that would already cause sunburn sa ating mga dahon ng mga Monsteras. So, paano ba natin malalaman kung nasa sunburn na yung ating mga Monsteras? Yung pinakauna talagang manifestations guys is kapag medyo nagiging dry na yung dahon, tsaka nagiging crispy or medyo matigas na siya, eventually, kapag magtuloy-tuloy yan, magba-brown, magsistart na yung mag-brown sa mga gilid niyan. And later on, ang mga area na ito ay magsistart ng magkakaroon ng mga butas. And if ever you notice this mga warnings na with our Monstera Deliciosa, it's best na i-relocate na natin sila kaagad. Again, bear in mind na dapat ilagay natin sila sa area na bright and shaded. So if ever you decide to place your Monsteras indoors, it's very important to take into consideration na dapat yung paglalagyan natin nila is may access pa rin sa bright light. So that would be near the windows or near the doors. Pero kung medyo limited talaga yung ating access sa mga bright light, just like sa mga condo units, yung medyo kukunti lang talaga yung ating mga areas na may bright access to bright light, might as well use grow lights para mapasupplement natin yung lighting requirement ng ating Monsteras. And there are so many choices of grow lights, different brands na makikita naman natin sa mga online shops. So, tsagaan lang natin maghanap doon sa mga online shops. And also, it's also advisable for us to place them outdoors from time to time. So, kung po pwede, mga once a week or twice a week naman, ilagay natin sila sa labas para makakuha sila ng natural lighting. So kanina, na-discuss natin regarding the overexposure of our Monstera Deliciosas. Ngayon naman, pag-uusapan natin kung paano naman natin malalaman kung kulang or low yung light na nakukuha na ating mga Monstera Deliciosas. So number one sign natin is kapag na-observe natin na medyo mabagal mag-produce ng mga panibagong dahon. So alam naman natin guys na yung light talaga plays a vital role in the plant development. So yan yung pinaka main requirement ng ating mga plants para makapag-develop yung plants. So second sign na malalaman natin kung na-underexpose or nagkakaroon na ng low light yung ating Monstera Deliciosa is kung nag-start ng nagiging maliit or nagre-reduce na yung mga size ng kanyang mga panibagong dahon. So this is very easy lang to identify kasi yung magiging main reference natin is yung kanyang previous dahon. So if ever na-notice natin na mature na yung pinakabagong dahon and then smaller na yung kanyang size as compared to the previous dahon, that would mean na nagkakaroon na siya ng low light exposure. Third sign is when we notice na nagiging pale or medyo nagiging lighter na yung kanyang mga dahon. Take note guys, again, dun tayo titingin sa mga mature leaves and not on the newly unfurled na mga dahon. Kasi basically, yung mga panibagong dahon talaga, they will look light green, such as this one. Tingnan natin ito. Ito yung kanyang pinakabagong dahon and it would look light green. So yung magiging reference natin dun guys is yung kanyang mga mature leaves. Naturally, yung mga mature leaves na ating mga monstera, they would have this dark green na color. Papakita natin. So medyo dark, close to olive green na yung kanyang color. So dapat yan yung basehan natin if ever mag-observe tayo kung nagsistart nang mag-pale yung kanyang mga dahon. Fourth sign naman is when we observe na nagiging leggy na yung ating mga monstera. So when I say leggy, ano ba yung ibig sabihin ko niyan? So yung kanyang interval in between nodes is parang nagiging mahaba na siya as compared with the previous node intervals. Yun yung obserbahan natin. Number 5 sign natin na ma-observe is that kung medyo nawawala na yung kanyang mga fenestrations or yung kanyang mga holes ng mga dahon, especially sa mga matured form. Example lang natin guys, itong ating Monstera Deliciosa. Andito siya, ito yung kanyang second oldest leaf. So meron pa siya mga fenestrations. And then, when I got this plant, I placed it sa balcony kung saan shaded lang talaga siya at medyo madilim siya. So nangyari is that yung kanyang pinuduce na mga panibagong dahon, this is the third leaf, naging konti na lang yung kanyang fenestration. Yung kanyang fourth leaf, ito pa rin, konti pa rin yung kanyang fenestration. So para siyang nag-revert yung kanyang mga fenestrations. And then what I did is that I placed it outdoors na, in a shaded area, filtered sunlight. So ngayon, bumalik na yung kanyang mga fenestration sa kanyang mga panibagong dahon. So ganun talaga yung impact ng lighting sa ating mga Monstera Deliciosa. So that's it for the lighting requirement of our Monstera Deliciosas. And now let's proceed with the watering needs of our Monsteras. They're really not fond of being overwatered, as in ayaw na ayaw nila yung ma-overwatered guys. In fact, they can tolerate more being underwatered than overwatered. But looking back on their natural habitat, which is sa mga rainforest dun sa mga South America areas, sa area na yun, alam natin that rainforest, by the name itself, it's like raining all throughout the year. So bakit sila nagsusurvive and nakaka-strive dun sa mga areas na ganon? Number one is that yung ating mga monsteras naman, they are not grounded, so hindi sila naka-plant sa soil. It's basically nakakapit lang sila sa mga puno na mga malalaki, so doon sila nag-grow. So kahit na umuulan all throughout the year, hindi nasusok yung kanilang mga roots sa tubig or sa water. And for my Monstera plants naman, wala naman akong fixed na frequency in watering them. So sometimes once a week, there are times na once in every 2 weeks. Depende lang din kung gaano kabilis mag-dry out yung kanyang mga soil mix. So before I water my Monstera plants, I do the finger test and make sure that the first top inch is totally dry. And then that's the time that I decide to water my plant. So aside from the finger test, meron naman tayong available na mga moisture meter sa mga online shops. You can use them at your convenience. So how do I water my Monstera plants? So I do full watering and just make sure that the entire surface is fully watered, and then I only stop until such time na makikita ko na nag-drain na yung water doon sa potholes ng ating pot. Very important for us to take note na dapat kung pipili tayo ng mga pots, dapat meron silang mga potholes to support water drainage. And then, ito din yung ma-advise ko for our Monstera plants. It's advisable na kung pipili tayo ng sizes ng mga pots, it should be relatively small as compared with the plants. Because if we use a relatively small na pot as compared with the plant, yung ating Monstera, they would maximize more on the plant growth and the leaf production rather than the root development or yung pagpaparami ng kanyang mga roots. Also, one thing I can advise is it's actually better to use terracotta pots, yung mga ganito, as compared with the plastic pots. Because using terracotta pots, yung ating soil mix would dry out faster as compared kung plastic pots yung ating ginagamit. So alam naman natin na no-no yung overwatering sa ating mga Monstera plants. So that is why, as much as possible, mas mabuti kung mabilis ang pag-dry out ng ating mga soil mix. Let's talk about the humidity requirement of our Monstera plants. Again, looking back on its natural habitat, which is in the rainforest. At sa mga rainforest, almost all throughout the year, umuulan yan. And then sa area na mga ganyan, mataas talaga yung humidity. So if ever we decide to get our Monstera plants, it's very important that we also take into consideration yung kanyang humidity requirement as well. So it's best na we do regular misting. Kung medyo mainit yung panahon, we do misting in the morning and in the afternoon. Kapag medyo maulan naman or medyo wet yung season, hindi na natin required mag-misting kasi napuproduce na yung kanyang humidity requirement with the weather itself. Also, it's best if we group our Monstera together with other plants so that they can create this parang mini environment na mataas yung humidity. Paano ba natin malalaman kung nag-overwater tayo with our Monstera plants? There are signs such as seeing mga yellow markings sa ating mga dahon. So kung magtuloy-tuloy yung ating pag-overwater natin mga Monstera plants, yung pag-yellow niya, it started as pag-yellow, eventually magiging mushy yan at magiging matamlay na yung ating dahon. So when you see these signs, immediately dapat i-uproot na natin yung ating Monstera plants and check on baka nagsistart na itong mag-root rot. So yung mga signs naman of having root rotting is number 1, nagiging mushy na yung kanyang mga roots, and then meron na siya mga foul smells. So if these things happen, immediately dapat i-repat natin, palitan natin siya ng kanyang mga soil mix, at kung makakakita tayo ng mga mushy part doon sa kanyang mga roots or yung mga nag-start ng mabulok, i-cut natin yon immediately para hindi na siya magtuloy-tuloy. And with that, let's now proceed with the soil mix requirement of our Monstera Deliciosa. At ito yung isa sa pinaka-importante talaga guys, kasi itong soil mix, this will make or break the growth of our plant. So yung characteristics na ating soil mix for our Monstera, number 1, it has to be chunky. Number 2, it has to be airy. Number 3, it can still hold moisture. But then number 4, dapat well-draining pa rin siya. Number 5, meron din siyang dapat nutrients for plant growth. So ano ba yung pinaka-main component ko with my potting mix para sa aking mga Monstera plants? Yung pinaka-malaki talaga guys, and this is 50% by volume, is cocoa cubes. So talagang cocoa cubes is the key. Bakit cocoa cubes yung pinili natin? Kasi yung cocoa cubes, it has this certain characteristics na medyo airy siya, so free-flowing yung air natin doon sa ating mga roots. It will also provide your soil mix a chunky characteristics, and in this manner, freely makaka-move yung ating mga roots. Ito guys, makikita natin dito sa ating video na majority talaga ng ating component is cocoa cubes. Second component naman natin is our pumice, and this will comprise 20% by volume. At ano ba yung magiging main role ng ating pumice? This will also help our potting mix na makapag-drain ng water. And the size of the pumice that I'm using for my Monstera is yung Mongo size. At ito talaga guys, ma-advise ko talaga kapag nagko-collect kayo ng mga plants, yung pumice dapat hindi talaga yan mawawala sa ating mga soil mix kasi it will really promote water drainage sa ating potting mix. So if wala namang available na pumice, you can have other alternatives such as mga small stones and pebbles. At ito palang mga pumice ko guys, in-order ko lang ito from online shop. I also add in 10% of cocoa peat. Itong cocoa peat natin, ito yung mag-hold ng moisture for our potting mix. And I also add in 10% of rice hull, at yung main role ng ating rice hull is mag-absorb ito ng excess moisture from our potting mix. And the remaining 10% will be our vermicast, at ito yung magiging main pataba or main fertilizer for our plant. Again guys, let me emphasize na yung ating potting mix na ginagamit, this is soilless, wala siyang loam soil, and the components of these are mostly organic, so medyo sufficient na talaga ito for our plant growth. So if ever hindi available yung other components na na-mention ko, pwede naman natin yun i-adjust depending on what's available in your area. It's just important for us to take note na dapat yung ating potting mix, it has to be chunky, airy. Of course, importante talaga na well-draining siya, but it can still hold moisture. A bit of moisture lang guys, not totally mag-soak in or mag-sit in yung water dun sa ating potting mix. And last is that dapat meron din siyang nutrients para naman maka-support ng plant growth. Na-discuss na natin yung ating potting mix. Now dig deeper sa ating fertilizer being used. So as I've mentioned earlier, I'm using vermicast kasi ito yung pinaka-favorite ko because this is organic and healthy and good for our plants. So if ever hindi naman available yung vermicast, which is worm casting, we can use other animals manure naman such as a horse, a cow, a goat, depende kung ano yung available sa inyong area. Kung hindi available yung ating mga organic fertilizers na na-mention ko earlier, we can still opt to use yung mga chemical base such as yung mga osmocotes and other fertilizers na chemical base. It's just very important for us to take note and read the instructions sa kanyang mga manuals on how to properly use them. Kasi kung na-overfeed or na-overfertilize natin yung ating mga Monstera plants, magma-manifest ito sa kanyang mga dahon, especially sa mga tips. Dito yan guys, mag-uumpisang magba-brown. And that's the sign na of overfeeding our Monstera plants with fertilizer. So that would be it guys. That would be our care tips for our Monstera Deliciosa na mga plants. And I hope na meron kayong mga natutunan sa ating episode today. And so before we end our video, let us do our shoutouts. Shoutout kay Miss Nina na palaging nanonood sa ating videos. Shoutout also to Joseph Pomar Salbido. Hello to Carlo Troy Manalo. Hello din kay Miss Christy Batolan. Shoutout na rin kay Ronnie Entan. Shoutout also kay Lisel Dableo. Shoutout kay Estrella Nava. Hi to Ma'am Nelida Batilier. Shoutout na rin kay Mary Ann Nelias. Shoutout also kay Ramil Santiago. Shoutout na rin kay Carmelita Imperial. And shoutout kay Ma'am Merly Rangel. So guys, if you happen to like our videos, please don't forget to like and share to your families and friends. At kung bago ka pa lang sa ating channel at hindi pa nakapag-subscribe, please click on the subscribe button and pakiclick na rin ang ating bell notification para maging updated kayo sa mga latest videos ng Bechoy Vlog. Once again, this is Bechoy, your plantito from Mindanao. Happy planting!